For you, kind of look at where you were this time last season, kind of, still getting your feet wet. Just where do you feel like your game has grown the most in the last year to a point where you've got a shot to play a significant role this year?
I mean, it's more just the maturity aspect, just listening to people, as me and Bill were just talking about, just being open and more listening, just soaking in what they're saying, not thinking about talking when people are telling me things, just being more open, not taking everything as a personal attack, and just really be willing to grow and just attack every day like it's its own day.
We know that you enjoy the trash talk, and we certainly saw that come out a lot in fall camp with a number of guys. How much does that fuel you when you're not the only one trash talking? You see Kale, and you see Kyle and Caden and so on, all kind of being vocal, being audible, and getting in the offense's head.
Oh, the energy it's infectious. You got Kale, you got Juice, you got Tuck, you got Lil KP. You even got the little guys in my room. Just everyone, just being. Just competitive and just working every day. Even it's not just always defensive guys, it's the offensive guys. You got Xavier, you got Potts, you got Lando, Mac, all of them just talking trash. Everyone just trying to elevate each other's game, and that's all it is, really. It's always love.
What about the staff kind of made you want to stay here and kind of try things out with them, and then obviously earn yourself a role? I
mean, it's just the transparency and Coach Rogers, and just from the top to the bottom. They're going to tell you the truth. They're never going to lie to you. They're going to be honest, and they just want the best for everyone. And Coach Rogers from Arizona, we got that Arizona connection a little bit.
You mentioned kind of growing in your maturity. Where did that come from, and what was that process like to kind of get better at that?
I mean, that's one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. Just confidence, maturity wise. It's just everyone got to welcome the college moments, and college is just different. And it's just basically just, like I said, just not taking everything as a personal attack and taking it as someone trying to help me because someone cares about me enough to tell me what I need to get better at.
Did somebody get in your ear and help you understand that that's where that was coming from, or how did you start to realize that was what was going on?
I mean, that's just even the last staff, this staff, just everyone, they kind of had a similar message when it came to stuff like that. And just the older guys that I'd been with, even in Chump, Maury, even the older guys from last year, we got Steve and EOC, all of them just helped me with that a lot.
I know Anthony Palano is not in your position at all, but I'm curious, what it's been like getting to know him, and then him, kind of earning a bigger role this year. What does it kind of say about him?
AP, he's a dog. I ain't seen a lot of linebackers that can move almost like a safety. I talked to him a lot. He told me he has a safety background. I ain't seen a lot of linebackers that have hands and just ability to move sideline to sideline like that. And we click, and he leads the defense from the middle. He leads every day. He's the same guy every day. You're gonna get from him every time.
Tell me about Coach Bobbit as not only as a coach but as a person, and how does he kind of relate to you in this room?
Coach Bobbit, he's real hard on you. He's going to tell you the truth like everyone else, but he's just one of the most laid back, cooler guys. A good comparison I would have with Coach Bobbit is like a Lane Kiffin type coach. Real players coach is really always going to joke around with you, make sure you're good, but he's going to coach you real hard, and he's not going to tolerate any lack of effort or lack of anything like that. But he's just a great coach.
Remember your first time meeting him?
I don't, but my first real memory of him is just the first meeting. It was just a different vibe when he came in. It was real. He's real upbeat, kind of like my type vibe. Because I like to live my life just upbeat, just happy, and that's just how he was, just real willing.
So obviously he used to be a J here 5 years ago. Did you talk to any of your former teammates? Were any of them around for when he was here?
I think only Gavin Bartho, G-Wagon. He said he gave G-Wagon that name originally, and that's about it. That's all I know.